Welcome back. My guest this week is legal expert Dr. Khrushchev Ekweme, but he's here in the capacity of an analyst, which is just what we need after 2 days of intense talks in Washington, D.C. this weekend. I begin our conversation by asking him whether it is possible to achieve nuclear security in the world right now. Now, the summit has ended, but at the end of the day, the concern is, that the world will be made safer, with meetings like this, when countries understand the responsibility attached to developing nuclear activity or developing, whether it's for weapons or for energy and so on. Can the world really be a safer place? Can we really make this world a safer place with the current situation that we have? Countries developing nuclear weapons, countries developing nuclear activity for the sake of energy and so on. Is it possible that we can protect the world from a nuclear situation?
Well, I will say that it is possible to protect the world from terrorists getting access to nuclear weapon and deploying nuclear weapon. And a summit like the nuclear summit is one in the right direction because it brought various countries together and they have a common agenda. If you don't have a summit like this, it would have been difficult to have countries to feel safer. So I believe that if the agenda of the nuclear summit is being implemented, it will make the world a safer place. I believe that it's difficult to stop nations from seeking to acquire nuclear arsenals and feeling that they are stronger when they have a nuclear arsenal. But I don't think that we should miss the focal point of the nuclear summit because the focal point of the nuclear summit is to ensure that terrorists do not obtain and deploy a nuclear weapon. And I think the summit has specific program that, if implemented properly, will make the world a safer place. For instance, the aspect of a reduction of the stockpile of highly enriched uranium and plutonium is a step in the right direction. The efforts of the international community to ensure that smuggling of nuclear materials is curtailed, if not eliminated. And also the physical protection of nuclear facilities. If the nuclear facilities are well protected, I think the fact that some countries acquire nuclear for military or civilian purposes will not make the world a dangerous place. But the problem we have really is that some countries do not want to comply with the treaties that they have signed.
Which is where my next question is actually going, because, well, top on the list of countries with nuclear weapons is Russia and North Korea, and both of them were absent from that summit. Is it possible to actually control these countries, put a check on their own activities to ensure that these weapons don't get into the hands of ISIS, which is the total aim of the summit in the first place?
I think that a country like Russia would not like to aid the ISIS because that Russia is fighting the ISIS today in Syria and in Iraq, maintaining airstrikes against the ISIS. So I doubt that Russia will support the ISIS acquiring weapons of mass destruction, because the challenge of ISIS acquiring weapons of mass destruction will be catastrophic, even for Russia.
What if they're buying from a third party?
Well, of course, there is always the danger that a third party can make fossil materials available to the ISIS, but that is the essence of the nuclear summit, to ensure that states using the Interpol, using the International Agency for Atomic Energy, using the United Nations, and even using the institutions of coalition that Russia is also a member of. There is one particular institution that Russia co-chairs with the United States. So Russia is committed to ensuring that the terrorist organizations do not obtain and deploy WMD. But I would think that the reason why Russia, I'm just second guessing why, has nothing to do with Russia's support for the terrorists acquiring weapons of mass destruction. I would think that it's because of the strained relations, in diplomatic relations between the United States and Russia.
Well, North Korea has gone rogue with nuclear armaments, as well as armaments on all levels. So how do you put a lid on North Korea's activities? I know that China and Japan have already promised the US that they would help to keep a check. But can North Korea really be checked?
Well, I mean, the leader of North Korea is not, with immense respect, because he has been doing nuclear experiments and trying to increase the nuclear potential of North Korea. But I also don't think that North Korea is pursuing its nuclear program in order to sell nuclear materials to terrorist organizations. I think that North Korea is pursuing its nuclear program because of self-preservation and also to continue to dominate South Korea.
It's interesting you say that, because North Korea is, well, currently there's a famine going on in the country, and one of the highest revenue generations for North Korea is the sale of weapons. So if you do sell nuclear weapons, you actually get more money at the end of the day. Yes.
Again, the North Korea will also understand that it's living within the international community. And I believe that the poverty in North Korea will make North Korea to behave. I think that sanctions will hurt North Korea more than what it will gain in the sale of nuclear weapons. So I believe that China promising to hone on North Korea, and Japan that have economic ties to North Korea will help in that direction. But that's not to say that the avidity for North Korea to get stronger in terms of nuclear power will slow down. But I doubt that in the in the foreseeable future that North Korea will sell radioactive materials to terrorist organizations.
The US itself also has nuclear weapons, and most of its allies do. Does it really have the right to tell other countries not to develop nuclear weapons?
The way the question is framed is as if the United States is compelling other nations.
Well, and I know it's all for nuclear security, but
yes.
I mean, it's to prevent, this third-party thing we're talking about,
yes.
The terrorists getting the weapons from some other country who was probably not aware.
I will say that, yes, the United States in 2010 initiated the Nuclear Security Summit. And the United States has been at the forefront of pushing the Nuclear Security Summit. But I think it's in the interest of the international community. And that's when states come, like the president of a country and the other heads of states, assemble under the auspices of the Nuclear Security Summit. They are exercising their sovereignty. So it's not that any particular nation is compelling those states that you saw in heads of states that you saw in Washington to give up a nuclear ambition. I think the focus of the nuclear summit is something that is in the interest of the international community, collectively and individually.
And since you mentioned Nigeria, let's talk about President Muhammadu Buhari's participation at the summit. Did you think that Nigeria had something to bring, or was this just an opportunity for us to learn?
Well, I think that Nigeria has opportunity to learn, and Nigeria will always have something to bring to the table. Our nuclear energy agenda goes back to 1976. So it didn't start with the Buhari administration. With the enactment of the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission Act that established the Nigerian Energy Atomic Commission, charged with the responsibility of developing atomic energy and also to prospect and mine radioactive materials, and also to pursue the development of nuclear infrastructure for purposes of electricity generation. I believe that, yes, we don't have a stockpile of nuclear materials in the quantity that will scare the international community. But I think that participation in a summit like the one that President Buhari attended, I believe with his experts, will be a learning opportunity.
Dr. Ekweme, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is where we end the program this week. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions or comments, please send them to the addresses showing on your screen. I am Amarachi Ubani. I'll see you next time.